13-4.
Well, now, Shell, what will happen?
Well, we got the heavyweights, and as we mentioned, the heavyweights in the double A's gave us quite a battle early on, if you can believe it. 19 points in the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds of the double A final. 19 points between the wrestlers. It was 13-6, ending with a fall. Mel Crosby of Erie Academy and Tim Samick of West Hazelton.
Tim Samick came out and just assumed a sumo stance in the warm-up. Our referee, John Osage.
I mean, we got a couple of tough cookies in
Look at
this
that
one,
sweet
too.
smile. Osage is just smiling. He's looking at these two guys, and he's saying, gentlemen.
And Dr. John is, in fact, the referee-in-chief here, so he gets to do this final piece de resistance here.
What did you say about Melvin Crosby? He doesn't look as good as Bing. Nobody has attempted a shot yet. Let's see. There's Melvin moving in. And Samick puts him down off the mat. Onto the boards.
Let's see if we can get a
Knocked him
shot
out.
of that.
He's out cold.
I think he may be out cold.
Well,
I'm telling you, we have seen such action in the heavy. Let's look at this.
Watch.
Yeah.
Crosby attempting a shot, drives through. Samick gets under the arms and hip tosses him and pops him to the mat, off the mat about 4 feet, and drives him into the floor. Actually, though, I think it would have been the same if he were on the mat. I don't know
whether he hit his head or the shoulders when that happened.
They were both on the mat section, although it's the far edge of the mat.
And you know, and tremendous strength by Samick to throw a man of Crosby's.
Did you take a look at this, Samick?
I mean, I tell you, though, but Crosby is no little man out there. I mean, yeah, let's take another look at that, maybe. And
Samick is an ox. Watch this, because Crosby's got to be like 255, 265. Now Crosby's in, and remember, Crosby has the momentum. Samick says, I'll take advantage of your momentum. Lift, hip toss, and it is actually Crosby's own momentum, which drives him into the mat harder, and I think maybe it knocked the wind out of him.
I don't
Now
know.
he's not.
He is okay as far as getting up is concerned. Bear in mind, 2 minutes allowed.
Is this the face of a man who just got the...
I don't know. He looks like, you know, where am I think is really what they're trying to tell Mel.
Bringing him up, a senior from Erie Academy. They got him on his feet. He's studying this whole situation. It's like I want a ruling.
He's going back. I'm telling you, we've seen some courageous kids on the mat today, considering the punishment that they have taken. And anybody in either the AA or AAA, Larry, Marvin, that left before it was over, thinking they weren't going to get much action in these heavyweight bouts. Big surprise.
Look at Samick. Samick looks like he's studying the menu. Now Melvin's trying to go in and rattle his head a little bit. John Osage is going to have his hands full here with these two sumos. Now they're headed there. There they go. Now Melvin lands on him this time. They better get control of these two guys. I think Melvin Crosby is not very pleased with that first fall. He's just evened the score, and John Osage wisely is going to talk to him.
That's good hard wrestling, but don't get too far out of line. Both guys. Okay.
Dr. John is telling him to cool it, is what he's saying.
Let's get a check. My time. Go ahead over. Get your head checked.
Headgear check.
Check him behind the headgear.
By
Mike Hawes, report that down to the table. Mike Hawes.
I'll tell you, Sheldon, what's that expression? If looks could pin. If looks could pin.
Well, it was interesting because, you know, we had just a reverse. I mean, the momentum by which Crosby came down on Samick.
I just wanted to see what it was.
I'm telling you, we have seen, without a doubt, the best heavyweight action ever in the PIAAs this year, both in the double A's that preceded this and in this match.
I don't think John Osage has succeeded in convincing Melvin Crosby that the peace movement should be respected. I think Melvin wants more troops in Honduras. And Brother Samick, I can tell you right now That's the reason the Yugoslav partisans never went down. There's no question. You got two fine competitors here, and their blood is stirred just a little, but they're settling in now. Till the next joust. I wish I could remember that National Geographic special.
With the Rams, or was it the Moose?
It's the elk or the moose, but they get next to each other in the right season, and they bang heads strongly.
50 seconds to go, and despite all that action, Marv, we are still looking for our first point here in heavyweight. AAA championships.
But
Mel Crosby, that gentleman on the right, is just a sophomore, so he's going to grow a little.
Wait, he's what? I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
Melvin is a sophomore.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the district. They're both seniors.
Hold it.
If Melvin was a
District
sophomore.
10. Now, Mel is District 10, Erie Tech, or Erie Academy, and Tim Samek is District 11, West Hazelton High.
Occasionally do it. Okay.
And ironically, both coaches are named Wayne. Wayne Boykin, Erie Academy coach, and Wayne Packer, West Hazelton coach. Crosby is undefeated this year, by the way. He's 31-0.
There's Samek in on the leg. He's trying to pull him in. Crosby's trying to balance himself off. Crosby has to step toward the mat. Great balancing act by Crosby, and he finally falls out again. Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
There's not enough room in this arena.
It isn't, and it's almost the exact same place where it happened before, right on the bench. But he's up and at him again. And aren't you glad you stayed around for the heavies?
They moved the mat too soon. They had the other mat. They need the mat in the consolations.
What they ought to do is follow them around with another mat is what they ought to do.
Over the eye.
They got a cut eye on Samek. They have Crosby with some sort of injury behind his head in the recesses of his haircut. They have him over there working on his neck. He's sore. Look, they're touching that. That hurts. Samek has the eye cut.
Crosby and Samek understand in this battle that's going on. We've got 6 seconds to go in the period, and no one's got a point yet. I mean, there are indentations all over the mat, where, as well as off the mat, and no one has got a point. There's been no takedowns, and the period ends.
I thought Melvin Crosby showed some great balance when he had that. When Samek had the leg, he didn't have it in a perfect position, and he didn't bring it up well, but Crosby on one leg looked pretty agile.
To you, bottom.
John Osage thought that he was going to get something of a kind of a vacation maybe here at the end, you know, winding down. They let the dean of the referees tonight, the head of all the refs, the chief referee. So John says, I'm going to take heavies because they kind of push each other around a little bit. They've landed everywhere but on John.
Wait, the match isn't over yet. Let's see how Samek tries to... Oh, nice switch by Crosby.
Good move.
Beautiful switch by Melvin Crosby. Quick as a cat now. He drives Samek into the mat on the far side. He gets his weight up on his toes.
And that's a reversal for 2.
He gave a little extra ride as he came across. Here you come. Good switch. Drove his leg out to the outside. Came through and just much quicker than Samek and made the move work. Now they're wiping his ankle up. No, they're fixing his band.
He's down.
Melvin asked if he was up.
2-0.
He is up.
Lead now to Mel Crosby. Tim Samek is a member of the Big 33 football squad, 1988 version. I don't know if they play football at Erie Academy, but I can't imagine that Mel Crosby wouldn't make the team.
If he desired to.
Or has made the team. Probably has. If he chose to go for it.
Melvin drives Samek toward the edge of the mat. He keeps having you kind of get the idea as they get to the edge of the mat. There's a thought in his mind between good and evil. The classic choice between good and evil. Shall I jam him off the mat, which would be evil, or shall I just half jam him, which would be good? Now, you know that Melvin in his philosophy courses at Erie Academy has attempted to discern between good and evil here. This is a classic match. I mean, this has had something for everybody.
1.5 minutes to go, second period. Crosby on top,
Crosby's a tough cookie. He's come from being almost knocked out to bouncing Samek around the mat like a ping pong ball. And Samek is 250 pounds of muscle.
Oh, they're off again. And that one nearly ended up in the lap of Earl Smalls, our cameraman.
I don't believe it.
I think
No.
Samick hit his head off the mat.
Melvin Crosby, in a great gesture, reaches down to pick up Samick, which is a very sporting gesture. Only the cynics would think that was an imitation, that he was doing that for
No, he
fun.
melded it.
He
Mel
meant
really
it.
was. I mean, there's so much mat, and these guys have been off the mat for at least 2/3 of this match. And that time, Samick really whacked his head as he flew off. This thing ain't half over yet, Marvin. I mean, we've only 118 into the second period.
You hear John Osage say, when 500 pounds comes towards you, it's a little tough for me to try to stop him. You know, this is the right place, the Hershey Arena. The Bears haven't put a check into the boards this year to rival this yet.
Well, they're going to go
Blood
at
all
it
over
again.
them.
They really did need the other two mats here.
They're summoning Melvin Crosby, who leads 2-0, and is a very quick and agile heavyweight. Melvin's a tough kid. Now Samick, who had the better of the
we
early
said,
going.
it was amazing. We commented, could you top the heavyweight bout in the AA? And this one is that same kind of battle.
With all due respect.
Only points, only 2-0 though.
But Shell, with all due respect, there's a nice effort to sit through by Samick. Crosby's checking it.
Stalling call on Mel Crosby.
He's doing that because he's following him around. He's not making an attempt to counter him and put him away. But, Shell, I'd have to say this. I think either of these heavyweights is so much more sophisticated and strong than the two the fine kids who wrestle for the AA. But, I mean, Daubert's barely a heavyweight. When you look at these guys, they're gigantic compared to them. You see, Crosby has to move to bring him down and take him into a position to improve. The object is to continue to improve to where to fall. Samick
They're up,
standing
and
up.
here they come.
Look out.
Look out, John! Look out! Oh, my God! That one nearly ended up on John Osage. It was run for your life. Here comes 500 pounds, and they're off again.
They won't stop when they get to the edge of the mat. You hear the whistle. They just keep firing away.
They have wrestled more outside that white circle than they have wrestled inside. I mean, if you like high school wrestling at its best, this is high school WrestleMania. That's what it is, folks. Well put. Well put.
Now Melvin Crosby now making the work on him. Weight work. Now he's got to try to advance it. Samick trying to
chasing him.
away.
Off they slide again. 46 seconds to go. By the way, folks, the score is 2-0. In case you really care who's ahead, it's really been that kind of a match. It almost doesn't matter who's winning. The exhibition put on by these two young men, extraordinary. But Mel Crosby is leading 2-0 from Erie Academy.
Over Tim Samick of West Hazleton. Wait a minute, there's also another period. It's 46 seconds in the second period. Crosby has been warned for stalling. Let's see now what he does. Improve his situation. He flattens Samick, drives up on him. He's got to put a half in, Shell. He's got to, I think, try to do a little more than he's doing. He's sort of just letting his weight lay on him. Now he's trying to turn him. Stalling
call on Mel, and that will be a point this time, I believe. That's right, point awarded to Samick, second call.
If he doesn't understand this, he can't just simply trail him along and bounce on him. He's got to come after Samick to improve his position and use a move to set up a fall.
He figures he's the aggressor, and he figures, why are they calling this on me?
Set it up. Let's go.
Well, we're going to have at it again. 28 seconds in the second period.
Samick can't see.
Is Samick trying to come around now? Is he going to get out and tie it or not? He's near the edge. Look out! Oh, my God! Oh, boy! That one was chin first. Chin first. The mat now has the impression.
Wait a minute, what's Crosby doing? What's Crosby doing, Shell? What is he doing?
I don't know. But if we were to get a shot of the mat, I think Tim Samick is now in the Hall of Fame with his face imprinted in the mat.
Grauman's Chinese mat. That's exactly right. It's got TS down there. Now, wait a minute. They're heading to the edge again.
Back again. He's back again.
Crosby really thugging him down. Now he's trying to pull him in.
I think he'll run out of time before he runs out of energy here.
Well, I don't know what Samek is stalling. Yeah, there's John Hosages.
And that's the first stalling call on Samek. And it's 2-1 now as the second period comes to a conclusion.
They're breathing and puffing.
They got to do something going out of bounds. You have a warning. Your choice, third period.
I mean,
Samek would like to be home in bed.
I mean, for sheer pounding of each other, I've never seen a heavyweight high school match that anywhere resembles this one. Talk about your championship matches, and with all that action on the mat, Marvin, we have 3 points scored. It's 2-1.
One on a stalling call.
They went on a stalling call is right. Samek can't afford to stall now. He's been warned once. And here they're off the mat again, and this time for the first time
they stopped.
And the fans with a mock applause saying they're not going off this time.
Well, the other part.
No, you got to wrestle that. No toweling.
The other part is interesting. Samek shows up.
You really don't want to have anybody lose a match like this. I wish it could be a draw forever. I really do. These kids are really putting up an exhibition.
You may not want to have anybody win this match. This is strange. Melvin has a bad back. Melvin Crosby's back is hurting him. Samek's face is in the mat. They're both bleeding. They've both been hurt. They continue to bob and weave. There's Crosby.
They're off again, but this time nobody goes down.
Samek looks like he's just about able to stand up. He's looking toward the coaching staff. 1:33 to go. Wait, it's not over. Plenty of time.
No, we could have a tie. They could go overtime yet.
I think they're going to put Bill Keane in as a designated hitter at any moment. There's a form of Russian tie, which is not. Cosby moving in to take the single.
Looks like Osage is thinking very close now of calling it again. Injury time on
Crosby?
Crosby, rather. Mel Crosby.
Crosby might be a better depiction in a certain sense because...
Well, he's up again. Everybody runs out there to talk to Mel. How you doing? And they sooner get out, and Mel is on his feet again saying, I want to finish this.
Shell, if there weren't such aspects of humor in this match, it's the Pennsylvania State Heavyweight Championship match. Both kids are trying hard. They've both been hurt. They've both worked their daylights out of each other. They've done everything they can in this match.
1:12 to go, 2-1. Crosby leading.
But it's just...
Let's go get the center, stalemate. In there.
Bear in mind that if another stalling call is called against Samek, we're going to have a tie match in overtime here.
That'd be a big time. Good work there.
Almost catch Samek backing up.
Good move by Crosby.
And I see right now, it's interesting.
Wipe it off.
Because I thought Osage is checking how he's doing, not warning him again, because I don't think he could say, I'm going to call it.
Keeps bringing him to the mat like a kid going to the dentist.
Samek really has to pursue. Near the edge. Has he got enough mat? No. 53 seconds to go.
Okay, opposite. You're on his hand. Okay.
Oh, he was on his hand.
Come on.
He was sitting on his hand. Crosby has been very much more aggressive at this point. He's come right after him. Melvin Crosby, his hand is hurting him. Now Samek getting underneath Crosby with an underhook, pulling on the arm. But Samek hasn't really shot anything.
I think John Osage has been ultra patient. He doesn't want to give away a draw here, or at least the potential for. There's the first push in there by Samek, but he's going to end up on the bottom.
Melvin Crosby with a good spin.
Crosby gets the takedown, and that's 4-1. And that should be enough, unless Crosby gets called now. He's been warned once for stalling and has lost a point already.
Samek turns on him.
But there was no mat. Well, look at this.
Here it is. Samek in. He has the leg, but he doesn't have enough strength to do it. Crosby lays his weight on him. Samek has collapsed now. He's flat, no leg balance to help him. Samek drives the head down, comes around. Crosby, rather.
25 seconds to go. 4-2. Mel Crosby leading.
Samek must gamble. If he intends to be the heavyweight champion of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, he's got to gamble.
Needs a takedown. I don't know if he's got enough strength. Does he know he's only got 15 seconds to go?
At 10 now. Crosby has to make some sort of attempt at him. They're both dead tired. They have really taken some punishment. These two guys have really punished each other. There's a good dive by Samek, but Crosby flattens, sprawls very nicely. He pursues him, and the match ends with a 2-point takedown.
It'll be 6-2 will be the final score. Mel Crosby, the winner, in a confrontation of gigantic proportions.
in which neither man may be able to rise up to return to the center. They may have to have the handshake on the edge of the mat.
Let's
And
take
that's
a look now
appropriate.
at the final champions, and then we'll run them all for you in a moment. At 185, sixth place went to Jim Schofstall of Big Spring, District 3. Fifth place, Lance Morabito of Liberty High School, District 5. Fourth place to Gary Heverly of Bald Eagle, District 6. Third place to Matt White of District 3. And at 185, John Hange of Quakertown is the...
In sixth place from Big Springs, Jim